Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we begin a fresh and in-depth journey into the fascinating history of the 1 anna coin, a small denomination that played an enormous role in the daily lives, economy, and monetary evolution of the Indian subcontinent for well over a century. Because long before modern decimal currency systems were introduced, the anna formed a vital part of the traditional rupee system, where 1 rupee was divided into 16 annas, and this structure shaped trade, wages, taxation, and everyday transactions across British India, princely states, and later independent India and Pakistan, making the 1 anna coin not just money but a witness to colonial administration, imperial power, social change, and eventual independence. And to truly understand the importance of the 1 anna coin, we must begin with its origins under the British East India Company, which gradually took control of minting authority during the late 18th and early 19th centuries, replacing a fragmented system of regional coinage with standardized issues designed to stabilize trade and assert political dominance. And early 1 anna coins reflect this transition clearly, as they combined familiar local weight standards with Western-style machine striking, creating coins that were both acceptable to the local population and efficient for mass production. And as British rule expanded, the 1 anna coin became a cornerstone of the colonial monetary system, circulating widely among farmers, laborers, merchants, and soldiers, and its low denomination meant it passed through countless hands each day, embedding itself deeply into the rhythm of everyday life. And the designs of the 1 anna coin evolved alongside imperial priorities, beginning with simple utilitarian styles and later incorporating portraits of British monarchs, such as Queen Victoria, King Edward VII, King George V, and King George VI, each portrait marking a distinct era in both numismatic and political history, because these were not merely decorative choices but deliberate symbols of authority, reminding users of who controlled the land, economy, and legal system. And yet despite this imposed symbolism, the 1 anna coin remained a practical object first and foremost, struck in metals such as copper, bronze, and later copper-nickel, chosen for durability rather than intrinsic value, ensuring the coin could withstand heavy circulation in harsh climates. And when Queen Victoria's portrait appeared on the 1 anna coin, it coincided with major administrative reforms following the 1857 rebellion, after which the British Crown took direct control of India from the East India Company, and coins from this period often feature refined inscriptions and standardized legends, reflecting a more centralized imperial administration. And as time moved forward into the early 20th century, the 1 anna coin continued to evolve in response to economic pressures, metal shortages, and global events such as World War I and World War II, which affected metal supply and minting priorities, leading to changes in thickness, weight, and composition that collectors study closely today. And beyond British India, 1 anna coins were also issued by various princely states, each adding its own symbols, scripts, and artistic traditions, creating a rich and complex field for collectors who appreciate diversity within a shared denomination. And from a cultural perspective, the 1 anna coin holds immense nostalgic value, because it represents a time when money was tangible, simple, and directly tied to daily survival, when a few annas could buy food, transport, or shelter, and elders still recall prices in annas when telling stories of the past, giving this small coin a powerful emotional resonance that extends far beyond its face value. And as we move deeper into the study of the 1 anna coin, it becomes clear that its importance lies not in rarity alone but in its ability to connect history, economics, and human experience into a single, durable object, setting the foundation for a deeper exploration of varieties, mint marks, values, and collector significance in the next part of this series. As the story of the 1 anna coin continues to unfold, its role in shaping everyday economic life becomes even clearer when we look at how deeply this small denomination was woven into society across villages, towns, and growing cities of the Indian subcontinent. Because for ordinary people, the 1 anna coin was not an abstract unit of currency but a practical tool that determined daily choices, from buying food grains, vegetables, and tea to paying for transport, postage, or basic services. And this widespread usage ensured that the 1 anna coin achieved a level of familiarity and trust that few other coins could match, making it one of the most recognizable denominations of its time. And this trust was reinforced by the consistency of its value within the pre-decimal system, where 16 annas equaled 1 rupee, a structure that remained stable for generations and allowed people to calculate prices mentally with ease, and as literacy levels were low among the general population. During much of the 19th and early 20th centuries, coins like the 1 anna served as visual indicators of value, with size, weight, and metal composition immediately signaling their worth without the need for written explanation. And this practicality influenced design decisions, ensuring that the coin remained large enough to handle easily yet small enough to mint efficiently. And when monarch portraits were introduced, they were accompanied by clear legends and symbols that helped standardized recognition across vast and culturally diverse regions, and the 1 anna coin also played a significant role in taxation and wages, as many laborers were paid in annas rather than rupees, especially in rural areas where daily or weekly wages were modest, meaning that the coin was closely associated with hard work, survival, and the rhythms of agrarian and industrial labor. And this association gave the 1 anna coin a social dimension that extended beyond commerce, embedding it into folk memory, oral history, and even language, where phrases involving annas became shorthand for value, fairness, or affordability, and from a minting perspective, the sheer volume required to meet demand posed constant challenges, as mints in Calcutta, Bombay, Madras, and later Lahore worked continuously to strike enough coins to keep the economy moving. And this pressure inevitably led to variations in strike quality, die wear, and planchet preparation, which today form the basis for detailed numismatic study, because collectors can trace mint output patterns through subtle differences in lettering sharpness, rim thickness, and surface texture, and global events repeatedly left their mark on the 1 anna coin, particularly during wartime periods when metal shortages forced adjustments in composition, leading to lighter coins or alternative alloys that still needed to function reliably in circulation. And these changes are not merely technical footnotes but reflections of how global politics and conflict reached into the pockets of ordinary people, altering the very feel of the money they used every day. And as nationalist movements gained momentum in the early 20th century, the symbolism on coins like the 1 anna became increasingly significant, because while the designs continued to feature British monarchs, the population using them was becoming more politically conscious, creating a quiet tension between imperial imagery and emerging aspirations for self-rule. And this tension gives later 1 anna issues an added layer of historical depth, as they circulated during protests, reforms, and negotiations that would eventually reshape the subcontinent. And after independence and partition, the gradual move toward decimalization marked the beginning of the end for the 1 anna coin, as new currency systems were introduced to simplify calculations and align with global standards. Yet even as the coin was phased out, it did not disappear from memory, because people continued to think in annas for years, sometimes decades, demonstrating how deeply the denomination had been internalized. And today this lingering cultural memory enhances the 1 anna coin's appeal among collectors, historians, and nostalgia-driven enthusiasts, because holding one is not just an encounter with old metal but a tangible connection to stories of colonial rule, resistance, daily life, and transformation. And as we continue to explore this coin, it becomes evident that its true value lies in its ability to bridge personal memory and grand historical narratives, turning a simple low-denomination coin into a powerful artifact that speaks quietly yet profoundly about the past. As we move further into the story of the 1 anna coin, attention naturally turns toward the details that matter most to collectors and historians alike, including minting varieties, metal composition changes, dates, mints, and the subtle features that separate common circulation pieces from coins that deserve closer examination, because while the 1 anna coin was produced in vast numbers over many decades, it was never a uniform series, and understanding its variations is essential for appreciating its full numismatic depth. And one of the most important aspects to consider is metal composition, which evolved in response to economic conditions, technological advancements, and global events, beginning with early copper issues that were heavy, robust, and designed to survive intense circulation, then shifting to bronze and other alloys that balanced durability with cost efficiency. And these changes often affected the coin's color, weight, and thickness, creating clear physical distinctions that collectors can still identify today. And alongside metal changes, mint marks and mint locations play a crucial role, because 1 anna coins were struck at multiple mints across the subcontinent, including Calcutta, Bombay, Madras, and later Lahore, each mint leaving subtle yet recognizable characteristics in strike quality and die style. And collectors often notice that coins from certain mints exhibit sharper details or more consistent lettering, while others show softer strikes due to higher production pressure or worn dies. And these differences are not flaws but historical fingerprints that reveal how and where the coin was produced. And date collecting adds another layer of interest, as certain years saw lower mintages due to economic slowdowns, administrative changes, or wartime disruptions, making coins from those periods scarcer today, especially in higher grades. And while many 1 anna coins survive in worn condition due to heavy use, examples with clear details, original surfaces, and minimal corrosion are far less common than raw mintage figures suggest, emphasizing the importance of condition in determining desirability. And from a design perspective, small modifications in portrait style, lettering font, and reverse motifs help define different eras within the series, such as the transition from Queen Victoria's youthful portrait to her later veiled image, or the distinct styles used for Kings Edward VII, George V, and George VI, each reflecting contemporary artistic preferences and political messaging, and these design shifts allow collectors to build historically themed collections that trace the evolution of imperial authority through coinage, and beyond British-issued coins. 1 Anna pieces from princely states introduce an entirely different dimension, featuring local scripts, religious symbols, and regional motifs that coexist alongside imperial issues, offering insight into how local rulers balance tradition with colonial oversight. And part of what makes the 1 Anna coin so compelling is that its variations are accessible, because many dates and types remain affordable, encouraging hands-on study rather than distant admiration, and this accessibility has helped sustain interest in the series across generations of collectors. From beginners discovering history through coins to advanced numismatists specializing in die varieties and mint characteristics, and as we continue exploring the 1 Anna coin, it becomes increasingly clear that its richness lies not in a single rare date or dramatic error, but in the cumulative story told by thousands of small differences, each one reflecting a moment in time when economic necessity, political power, and human usage converged in a simple yet enduring piece of metal. As the exploration of the 1 Anna coin deepens, one of the most engaging and rewarding areas to examine is the world of errors, anomalies, and condition-based scarcity, because despite being a low-denomination coin intended for heavy circulation, the 1 Anna was produced using minting technologies that were not immune to mechanical limitations, human oversight, or the pressures of mass production. And these factors resulted in a wide range of irregularities that today capture the attention of collectors who appreciate coins not just for their intended design, but for the unexpected stories revealed by imperfections. And among the most commonly encountered errors are off-center strikes, where the coin was not properly aligned during the striking process, leaving part of the design missing and creating an immediately noticeable visual imbalance. And while minor off-centering is relatively common and adds modest interest, more dramatic examples with a significant portion of the design absent are far scarcer and serve as clear evidence of the challenges faced by mints tasked with producing millions of coins quickly. And another important category involves die cracks, cuds, and die breaks, which appear as raised lines or blobs of metal caused by worn or damaged dies, and these features developed gradually as dies were pushed beyond their ideal lifespan, particularly during periods of high demand. And collectors often study these marks closely, because they can be matched across multiple coins, allowing the reconstruction of die states and production sequences, turning what might seem like flaws into valuable historical data. And planchet-related errors also play a significant role in 1 Anna collecting, especially in periods when metal shortages led to variations in thickness, weight, and alloy consistency, resulting in coins that feel noticeably lighter or heavier than standard issues. And in some cases, improperly mixed alloys produced unusual color tones that stand out from normal examples, adding another layer of intrigue. And beyond technical errors, condition rarity is a critical factor in understanding value, because the 1 Anna coin was designed to circulate heavily, and as a result, most surviving examples show extensive wear, smoothing of details, and surface corrosion from long exposure to humidity, soil, and handling, making high-grade examples with sharp details, intact rims, and original surfaces far more elusive than mintage figures alone would suggest. And this scarcity of well-preserved coins is especially pronounced for early copper and bronze issues, where environmental damage often occurred long after the coin left circulation, further reducing the population of collectible quality pieces. And even later issues, while more resistant to corrosion, frequently exhibit bag marks, weak strikes, or uneven wear that limit their appeal to condition-focused collectors. And the rise of modern grading standards has helped bring clarity to this aspect of the market, allowing collectors to better understand which coins truly stand out and why. And market interest in 1 Anna errors and high-grade survivors reflects a growing appreciation for coins that tell a more complex story, because these pieces offer insight into the realities of colonial-era minting, where efficiency often outweighed perfection. And each irregularity serves as a reminder that these coins were tools of commerce first, shaped by the demands of empire and everyday life. And when viewed through this lens, Part 2b reveals that the 1 Anna coin is not just a relic of a bygone monetary system, but a dynamic field of study where rarity emerges not from intentional scarcity, but from survival, usage, and the unpredictable nature of large-scale production, making it a deeply satisfying series for collectors who value history, authenticity, and the quiet narratives hidden in worn and imperfect metal. As the story of the 1 Anna coin reaches a broader and more reflective stage, its long-term significance as a collectible and historical artifact becomes increasingly clear, because by this point the 1 Anna is no longer viewed merely as an obsolete denomination, but as a powerful symbol of economic life, colonial administration, social memory, and monetary transition across the Indian subcontinent. And what makes this coin especially compelling from a long-term perspective is the way it bridges multiple eras, languages, rulers, and systems within a single small piece of metal, allowing collectors to trace sweeping historical changes through minute physical details. And one of the strongest foundations of the 1 Anna coin's enduring appeal lies in its accessibility, because unlike many high-value ancient or precious metal coins, the 1 Anna remains attainable for collectors at nearly all levels, which encourages hands-on learning and deep engagement rather than distant admiration, and this accessibility has helped ensure that interest in the series continues to grow steadily rather than fading with time, as new collectors are constantly entering the field through inherited coins, flea markets, local dealers, and historical curiosity. And from a long-term collecting strategy standpoint, the 1 Anna rewards depth of study over speed of accumulation, because its true value emerges when collectors focus on quality, originality, and historical context rather than sheer quantity. And coins with original surfaces, even wear, clear legends, and stable metal are becoming increasingly desirable as awareness grows about the damage caused by cleaning, polishing, and improper storage, practices that were once common but are now recognized as harmful to both value and historical integrity. And as these altered coins are gradually removed from serious collections, naturally preserved examples gain stronger market recognition. And another important factor shaping the future of the 1 Anna coin is its multi-regional and multicultural dimension, because it was used across diverse communities speaking different languages and practicing different traditions, yet unified by a shared monetary system, making it an ideal subject for collectors interested not only in numismatics but also in anthropology, economics, and social history. And this interdisciplinary appeal strengthens its long-term relevance, as museums, educators, and researchers increasingly use everyday objects like coins to explain larger historical narratives. And the 1 Anna fits this role perfectly because it was handled by millions rather than elites, giving voice to ordinary lives often absent from written records. And as time moves forward, the distance between the present and the colonial era continues to grow, transforming the 1 Anna coin from a remembered object into a studied artifact, which tends to increase scholarly interest and careful preservation. And this shift often marks the beginning of stronger institutional demand, as libraries, archives, and museums seek representative examples for educational and display purposes, further reducing the supply available to private collectors. And generational change also plays a key role, because while older generations may remember the Anna system firsthand, younger collectors encounter it as a historical curiosity, approaching it with fresh eyes and a desire to reconstruct the past through tangible evidence. And this generational overlap creates a healthy cycle of storytelling and rediscovery that sustains demand. And from a market perspective, the 1 Anna coin may never experience sudden speculative booms, but it shows strong potential for gradual, stable appreciation driven by increasing awareness, shrinking supplies of high-quality examples, and a growing appreciation for coins that reflect lived history rather than abstract rarity. And this kind of slow, organic growth is often the most sustainable and meaningful, especially for collectors who value connection and understanding over short-term profit. And when all these elements are considered together, the 1 Anna coin emerges as far more than a minor pre-decimal denomination, revealing itself instead as a compact historical document that captures the flow of power, trade, labor, and daily life across generations, making it a deeply rewarding subject for anyone who seeks to understand the past through the quiet endurance of ordinary objects. As the journey of the 1 Anna coin reaches its concluding reflection, it becomes clear that its greatest value lies not in dramatic rarity or precious metal content, but in the quiet authority it holds as a witness to everyday history, because few coins have circulated so widely, for so long, and among so many different communities, carrying with them the weight of ordinary lives rather than elite privilege. And this universality is precisely what gives the 1 Anna coin its enduring power, transforming it from a forgotten unit of pre-decimal currency into a meaningful historical artifact that continues to speak across generations. And when collectors hold a 1 Anna coin today, they are not merely examining an object struck by a colonial mint, but touching a piece of lived experience that passed through markets, farms, workshops, railways, and households during a period of immense social and political change. And this connection to daily life distinguishes the 1 Anna from many other collectible coins, because its story is inseparable from the rhythms of survival, labor, and trade that defined the subcontinent for centuries. And from a preservation standpoint, this realization places a special responsibility on modern collectors, because the way these coins are handled, stored, and studied today will determine how much authentic history they can convey to future generations. And this is why originality matters so deeply, as coins that retain their natural wear, stable surfaces, and honest aging communicate far more about the past than pieces that have been aggressively cleaned or altered to appear new. and as education around proper conservation continues to spread, appreciation for naturally preserved 1-ana coins is likely to grow, reinforcing their status as historical documents rather than mere collectibles, and the role of storytelling cannot be overstated in this process. Because coins like the 1-ana gain meaning through context, and when their stories are shared through videos, classrooms, museums, and family histories, they become gateways to understanding larger narratives about colonialism, resistance, economic adaptation, and cultural resilience, and this storytelling potential ensures that interest in the 1-ana coin will not fade with time, but instead evolve as new perspectives are applied to old objects, and from a broader numismatic perspective. The 1-ana also serves as an important reminder that monetary systems are human constructions, shaped by power, necessity, and compromise, and its eventual disappearance following decimalization illustrates how currencies change to reflect new political realities and administrative priorities. Yet the persistence of the ana in memory long after its official abolition demonstrates that money is as much cultural as it is economic. And this cultural afterlife is one of the most compelling reasons why the 1-ana coin continues to resonate today. And as collectors look toward the future, the 1-ana stands as an example of how modest, heavily circulated coins can become some of the most informative and emotionally resonant artifacts, because they carry the imprint of countless hands and unrecorded stories, and this makes them invaluable for anyone seeking to understand history from the ground up rather than from the top down. And ultimately, the 1-ana coin teaches us that significance is not determined by size, shine, or face value, but by endurance and connection, and through careful study, respectful preservation, and thoughtful sharing, this small coin continues to fulfill a role far greater than its original purpose, linking past and present in a way that few objects can. And as we reflect on its long journey from everyday change to cherished collectible, the 1-ana coin reminds us that history often survives not in grand monuments, but in the simplest objects that people once depended on every day. Thanks for watching.